Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of Imperfect Dove. Hope my mic is on. I don't want to move it. Okay guys, so today's episode is going to sort of introduce the Bible. It's basically what I want to do. Spread a little bit of it. So today we're going to talk about the 10 Commandments. I have them in front of me and I'm going to read them to you. Number 1, you shall have no God before me. Number 2, you shall not make yourself an idol. Number 3, you shall not misuse the word of the Lord your God. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Number 5, honor your father and mother. Number 6, you shall not murder. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Number 8, you shall not steal. Number 9, you shall not give false testimonies against your neighbors. Number 10, you shall not covenant. So I'm going to sort of explain to the best of my abilities of what these mean in my words, because this is sort of how I do it to understand them. So number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. There is many gods, many goddesses in this world. Choose what you want to believe in, but that is just what my father says. No, have no God before him. Okay, you shall not have no gods before him. Please don't. Okay. Number 2, you shall not make yourself an idol. Making yourself an idol just means this is how I understand it. This is how I sort of try my best to follow the 10 Commandments. What I think too means you should not make yourself an idol, such as what do you spend most of your times with? That is basically an idol, sort of what I believe it is. What do you spend most of your time doing? Are you on your phone? Are you on your TV? Are you on TikTok? Whatever that is, that's sort of an idol in front of God, such as, your favorite celebrity, any celebrity in general. I don't know what people like to do these days. I don't know, party. I don't know. Whatever you do most of your day is basically you're putting them on a pedestal to God, because you would rather want to do that than to spend time with God. Yeah. Number 3, you should not misuse the name of the Lord your God. This is actually 2 things that I learned. Well, actually, one thing that I learned. So I'm going to show you the one that I knew was you should not misuse the name of the Lord. Such as, I don't like saying this, but oh my, or gee, or all those stuff that we have normalized in our vocabulary. I'm at fault as well. I used to say that a lot. I used to say a lot of OMG, not OMG, but oh my. I used to say that a lot. It was in my vocabulary until I had to stop. And then something else that I learned as well. I don't know. I don't remember who I learned it from. I'm so sorry. It was he's a pastor, but I don't remember his name. But he was saying sort of the lines of, you're also misusing you're using God's name in vain when you say that you're a Christian. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? Are we not supposed to call ourselves Christians? And what he meant was Christian, if I'm correct, means little Christ. I'm not sure if it was that one. And I was like, oh. And so that was just something that I wanted to point out, something that I learned. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. It is Sunday, which is the Sabbath day. Just keeping it holy. Don't work. There's sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, please let me know if it's wrong, where I have to work on a Sunday, but I always work after church. Usually my job does work with me, and I end up going to work from 5 to 10 at night, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sabbath day, keeping it holy, which means you're not supposed to work. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I have spoken to God about it, and He said that it's okay. But again, your relationship with God is completely different from what I have. So don't go off by me. Number 5, which again, that's another thing when it says if it's not from God, it would go against what the Bible says. So I think that's probably just me in my head saying that God said it's okay. That's something that I have to work with myself, and it's out of my control at this point. But that is, I don't want to contradict you guys. Number five, pretty simple. Honor your father and mother. Please be respectful to your mom or your dad, or if you were raised by your grandma or your grandpa, those are considered your parents. Please obey anybody who's raised you. Please honor them, and which just means be respectful to them, please. Number six, you should not murder. Pretty self-explanatory. Do not murder. You will go to jail, and also it's a conviction of God. You should not commit adultery. You should not steal. You should not give false testimonies against your neighbors. Something that I had to still learn. This is what I think it means, but it means like, especially under oath, that's what it says under oath. Um, don't be a fair, like a false witness. So like if you see something that somebody shouldn't and they ask you and they're like, here, I'll pay you this amount of money, or I'll give you this if you don't say anything. That's basically your false testimony against it. You should not covenant. Covenant, if I'm correct, I think it means cover. Like you shouldn't cover for somebody that is doing something bad. I'm not sure if that's what it means. That's sort of my representation of it. So these were the 10 Commandments. There's something that I do want to touch on. Um, yeah. So another thing that I wanted to touch on, guys, is that in the Bible it says, if you love God, follow his 10 commandments, follow his commandments. Um, Majority, 99% of these, that if you do them, you go to jail. Okay, don't do them. Um, but I know that's one that was really hard for me was 2 and 4. You should not make yourself an idol. I would put K dramas, K-pop, um, my TV, my phone. I would put it in a pedestal in front of God. I would rather want to be on my phone than to read the Bible or stuff like that. I would still do it, but I would prefer rather not to. No, sorry, better words. That sounded really ugly. I would prefer to be on my phone than to spend time with God, but I would still do it because it was something that I wanted to spend time with God. That's something, or sometimes I was, like I said, I would come home tired from work and I was like, oh, I just want to put some TV, and just eat and go to sleep. So that was something that I would beat myself over, and it took a lot of discipline for me to, to spend time with God instead of being on my phone or feeling what felt good in the moment. And number 4 was remember the Sabbath day. Um, on Sunday, for me, it's sort of like a reset day. But again, there's sometimes that I do have to work and I beat myself up all the time. And I'm like, God, I am so, so sorry. But I always try to remember that it's out of my, like if it was in my control and I was still doing it, then I feel like I would feel even worse about myself. But I always talk to God and I always tell him, like, I do not mean to work on Sundays. My job, majority of the time, doesn't have me working on Sundays, but when they do, it does hurt me because I never want to disrespect God. And I fear him, and I don't ever want him to think that I'm doing anything to oppose him. So I think those were the 2 that I struggled with, and the one that I struggle with the most is on the Sundays because, again, it's out of my control. It's out of my control. But yes, those were the 10 commandments that I wanted to prove, guys. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know that it can be difficult sometimes to follow rules, and especially with God. For me, I knew majority, like such as you should not lie, you should not steal, you should not do adultery, you should not murder, respect your mom and dad. Those are stuff that I learned since I was a kid. Um, but stuff as know God before me, you should not make yourself an idol, don't work on Sundays. Um, that was something that I had to learn and rewire my brain. And it was difficult for me sometimes because I'm someone who is a perfectionist. And when stuff does not go my way, I throw a fit basically, but really not like a toddler fit, but just like I let it ruin my whole day. Like I let it ruin my whole day, and especially like on Sundays when I know that I have to work and I'm like, oh, whatever, this day's gonna suck. And it's like, no, like wake up, go to church, talk to God, up until when you gotta go to work, and talk to God when you're in work. And I sort of work around majority of the stuff, but some stuff God makes me want to go or helps me get through it. But yeah, guys, I want to say in this part of the video, I'm really sorry for not posting last Wednesday. My schedule was all over the place, and I came out really late. And there was last Sunday, because I mainly um, record on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. But last Saturday, I worked on Friday. Last Saturday, I didn't work, and I tried to record, but my phone was messing up. My like this died on me as I was recording, which it's still on, but it died on me. It was not working, and I did over like 30 minutes of footage. Like only like the first 2 minutes you could hear, and then the rest was mute. So I just decided not to do that. And then on Sunday, I got lazy. That was my fault. And I was like, okay, right now it is Monday, which I do not work today. So I was like, let me just record a video and post it. It's going to be all over the place, but I rather want to put out a video and keep consistency instead of just trying to have it as perfect as I can. We all got to start from somewhere, right? So those are just the 10 commandments that I wanted to show. I'm going to try my best to introduce the Bible, because I know there's a lot of people that um, it's hard to read the Bible or hard to understand it. There's sometimes that I still have hard time understanding. So if you guys want to see a video of me maybe reading a part of the Bible that you don't understand and you want me to break it down, I would do my research and I will break it down for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that God continues to bless you and your beautiful family, and have a great rest of your